Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Lands Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 up into the northeast section of the map, ending with Team 2 down here in the southwest. Starting off with Team 1's frontline player of Luca, going first land as a Seraphim in Royal Blue, and he is a 2000 rated player. To his northeast, we have Zardos, another Seraphim for Team 1. He is going first air, and he is an Imperial Grey and a 1000 rated player. To his southeast, we have Trigram Ray going first land as an Aeon in Snow White. He is another 1000 rated player. To his northeast, we have Kiwiet Storm, something like that. I'm going to probably call him Storm for short. He's going first land, second air as a Cybran in Stitch Blue. He is a 1400. And last but not least for Team 1, we have Sheikah, I think that's how you say that, going first air in Chevy Crimson as another Cybran, and he is a 1500. So for Team 1's racial makeup, we have 1 Aeon, 2 Seraphim, and 2 Cybrans. No UEF tech for Team 1. Down here in the southwest, we have the frontline player of Battlefront, very fitting name for being on the front lines. He's going first land in Rust as, again, a UEF, and he is a 2100. To his southwest, we have Mutulal. Sounds like mutual, but not. Going first land as a Cybran in Forest Green, very sensible color for him to choose. To his southeast, we have Overclock Calm going first land as another Cybran for Team 2, and he is in Pac-Man Yellow as an 1100, and Mutual is a 1000 rated player. To his south, we have Dorset already on the move, going first land, second air, most likely with that formation. He is in Ruby Red as another Cybran, the third one for Team 2, and he is a 1200. And last but not least for Team 2, we have Maximus Triple X going first land, second air as a Cybran in orange, the color orange, and he is a 1600. So for Team 2, they have 3 Cybrans, 1 UEF, and 1 Seraphim. No Aeon Tech for Team 2. Let's take a look at Reclaim here pretty quickly before our players get all into each other's faces. We have 22,000, probably 500, maybe even 23,000 to kind of even out the numbers. So 2.3K per person if it was distributed evenly between all of the players. Not a lot, but what the map lacks in Reclaim, it makes up for in mechs. Just taking a split down the down the diagonal here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of 4 mechs plus a huge splattering, distributing, whatever word it's for, of single mechs kind of around the map. So it's a lot of mechs to group up, and just on this upper plateau section and lower plateau section, we have 6 groups of 4 mechs plus an additional 10. So that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 34 mechs here just in this section of the map. That is a heck of a lot of mass that our players can try to claim. Let's take a look at early plays. We have distance builds being done by both teams. We have 2 of them here for Team 1 here from Storm, and 1 from Trigram, and 1 here for Team 2 for Dorset. So essentially right now it is a 2v1 scenario, but there are combined drops coming out from Team 1, 1 out from Sheikah and 1 out from Zardos, and he is going straight for a rock here. 75 mass, not that bad, pretty early on, of course. Going to drop here, and then it's going to go straight all the way down here ahead of this position and grab a more forward position, denying Team 2 their not so rightly deserved, but at least their slice of the map's quad mechs is. And in terms of the northwest section, we have a drop by Team 2 and a Calm walking his way. That is Zardos to this group of mechs. It does look like player of Luke is trying to get on that action with some of his mechs of his own, but Zardos might beat him to it before that engineer can really get his work cut out for him. We also had a drop here from Team 2 out from Maximus Triple X to this quad mechs position. Of course, players opting to go for the mechs first and then the land facilities, but this one's going to go for a radar first and then go for a land facility. Very interesting play. Wants to at least secure it But that drop out here from the play of Sheikah is going to essentially cause a pincer maneuver to essentially occur at some point. We have hunters on their way to deal with those engineers with a mole nearby to help provide some intelligence. But this is going to be huge for Team 1. They're essentially blocking out Team 2 of their plateau section of the map. Of course, they're not fully out of it with Dorset to the south, but at this point, it's really 1, 2, 3 players versus 1, which is not a great combination. We do have 1 bomber. I feel like it's a little too late, though. 3 land facilities have already been established, so it's really not going to do a whole lot. It would have been better about maybe at least 1 minute ago minimum. Most likely, too, we even have air guns being built to dissuade that bomber, so that really won't get a whole lot of work done, unfortunately. Comms from Team 2 in the form of Battlefront and Overclock making their way towards the center of the map. The comm of Trigram is moving in that direction, and Storm is following them, with Luca kind of headed over here to the northwest section to cut off any units coming in from Team 2 that direction. And in terms of land units really moving, the really only way for units to really traverse this map is through the middle, unless they have transports to haul them from the lower section to the upper section and then back down to the lower section. So in this game, we can't build ramps, so it has to be transports. So it'll be a little bit difficult for units to really traverse these upper and lower sections of the map. This position here for Team 2's player of Maximus will try to hold on the best he can, but those hit points are falling pretty quickly and will not last for a bit longer. So that position will fall. Team 1 will own 3/4, if not 4/5, or whatever high percentage you want to use of this upper plateau. And that's a heck of a lot of mexes for Team 1 to have under their control at 7 minutes. And in terms of eco per second, Team 2 is starting to pull away, even though Team 1 has the better land situation in terms of map control. Team 2 is leading by about 20 or so, 25 mass per second, and then totals we are at about 4,000 or 5,000. But again, at 7 minutes, it's not the biggest deal if one team is leading by 20 or 30 or so. It's really about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes is really where you see the gap starting to form, if a gap does end up forming with this huge land advantage that Team 1 does have. And even to the northwest, we see Luker just preventing Team 2 from expanding outward, really delaying those mexes for Team 2, really, and essentially handicapping their eco, forcing them to upgrade more than go after early gains, which there could be a thing said for going after early gains or going after, upgrading. It just depends on, are there a lot of mexes? Are there not a lot of mexes? Can you scale faster with T1 mexes versus upgrading to T2 mexes? It just depends on what the map is available to you. And that's why I like the Neuroxis map generator, because it's different mostly every single time. So you can't really have these metas where, I need to have X amount of mexes by X amount of time to build X amount of units by X amount of time. Kind of like how Setins and Dual Gap is kind of designed. We do have a T2 upgrade for Mutawal here to the west. For Team 2, same here for Zardos, wanting to establish a better position, getting some shields, maybe even putting artillery or some PD on that cliff side. Team 2's units are starting to push a little bit more northward and eastward. We can see a high amount of units for the player of Battlefront going after this quad mech position. We'll kill all 4 of them. And the units from Luker are not enough to repel that attack, so he will lose that position for good, at least for now. He is going for some outlying mexes here in this northwest corner, but there really isn't a whole lot to work with up there. So really only thing up there would be to put a stealth base with missiles or artillery, whatever the case may be, but really kind of just dead zone up there. We can see those comms here for Team 2. Looks like one of them is retreating. That would be Try. Storm will stay on the front lines for now. And I'm assuming there's at least some emphasis for T3 Air. At least 2 players have gone at least T2. Almost the T3 here from Sheikah at, 71% for T3. That is pretty quickly. The T2 facility here for Zardos has not started its upgrade yet. But no comms have fired at one another yet. Kind of surprising with a map that, it is 10 players at like 18, 17 by 17, so not a huge kind of like forced enclosures for a lot of area to spread out, but a large sets of armies grouping up here for both teams. Team 1 really looking down like not the bottom of the barrel, but they're really looking down Team 2's throat. They have a lot more infrastructure, they have a lot more forces. Team 2 really has to make up in at least technology would be the best way I would do it, and it does look like the player of Battlefront has deployed some of his engineers and going for T2 facilities to build pillars, at least to supplement this army for now, until the player of Dorset can really get it under control. But the more eco, the more time Team 1 puts into this land army, the bigger issue it becomes for Team 2. So that is something to watch out for. And if Team 1 grabs this entire plateau, Team 2's main base is severely under threat. And in terms of severely under threat, we do see the comm of Luker starting to be a little bit overwhelmed in the middle. We do have Trigam coming in for assistance. Units from the east coming in from the player of Luker, actually. A decent group of Ilshis and other Thams. A couple of other engineers as well. But it does look like Luker has this under control. And does look like the positioning here for Team 2's player Battlefront. Not the best idea. It looked like they were reclaiming. They're trying to reclaim to the walls, but they're not close enough. I was like, what the heck is up with that? Looks weird. Not the case here so far. We are at 12, almost, well, not 12, 11 and a half minutes so far. In terms of T3 air, Team 2 almost has one finished. We have the player of Dorset going for that as well here pretty soon. That is really it. So Team 2 has 2 players. One of them almost finished with their upgrade, but we know Team 1 has already finished theirs, going for that a T3 strat bomber? I mean, yeah, they're not torp bombers, so it must be strat, which is very opportune here for Team 1's player of Sheikah, because Team 2 has no air defenses really to speak of. They have, one AA gun right here, but that's really about it. They do have T3 air finished, but nowhere near producing ASFs at the current moment. So Team 1 has the advantage in the air for now, and we've seen where one bomber can really make or break a game if it can be used very tactfully and very strategically. But with T2 pillars starting to just puncture Team 1's front line, a lot of those forces from Sheikah have been either destroyed or recalled or just not been built back up. A couple of units, but that's about it. Looks like Sheikah's main efforts are on this bomber, and we can see an spy plane getting some nice intel for said bomber. It's going over the top, getting a nice little readout what's going on. We do see the comm of Maximus Triple S really surrounded here in the middle. Going to get some shield covers, but it looks like it might be over for him. We'll go back to Overseer mode just to get a better view of that. He looks like he will. No, it's going to be close. The shields do prevent that. But the T3 strat bomber will come over the top, targeting probably the player of Dorset would be my target. Yep, there he goes, going after the T2 PGen, getting the comm also in that explosion, dropping his hit points into the yellow sub 75%. T2 gunships called forth to help assist the comm here on the front lines of Maximus. It was almost a close death here at 13 minutes. That strat bomber went off screen. It should come back here. There it comes. Go after probably the T2 PGens would be my idea, or this huge group of engineers. There it goes. There goes the first PGen, damaging the T3 that is currently being built. We have an ASF here for Team 1's player of Sheikah as well to defend said bomber. Team 2 starting to fight back here on this upper plateau area. But here comes that bomber once again. Interceptors coming in to assist. There it goes. Doesn't drop its bomb. That's kind of disappointing. Will it drop its bomb? We have the ASF dealing with it. It's actually going for Team 2's player of Mutawal. Takes out a Mechs as well. Sam says Maximus Triple X. Yep, that's what he needs. Bomb goes out. Takes out a couple. Nope, gonna ignore that. Going after 2 T2 PGens. Really kneecapping Team 2's energy production facilities. Really just giving it to him. Here it comes again. There's another. Oh, it's going after this T2 PGen. There he goes. Takes out those engineers and takes out that land facility as well. Man, this bomber really getting some work done here for Sheikah here in the southwest section of the map. We're not seeing the effects right now, but we should see a lot more momentum for Team 1 here pretty soon. Does look like those interceptors trying to get a hold of a nice little run on that bomber. It's in the yellow, but 2 more Mechs go down. Looks like the bomber will retreat. T3 SAM site has been produced by Battlefront. Will shoo away that bomber, but man, that bomber, 41 kills, 3 ranks of veterancy, will take out 1 T1 Pigeon. Oh, sorry, T1 Mechs. Not really worth it, but could have gone after at least this other T2 Pigeon and at least trying to prevent the construction of that Pigeon here for Team 2's player of Maximus. Another Mechs gonna die there. And T1 Mechs is not the biggest target that a bomber should be going after, at least of this caliber. But, I mean, just trying to slow down Team 2's roll here in the south section. Team 1 is winning the eco game now at 440 mass per second, killing those Mechs and taking out that power. Really did a number here for Team 1, but we do see the comm of Storm a little bit under fire, but there's a bomber inbound that's not going to drop his bomb anyway, so that doesn't matter. It does have another 13 minutes of flight, so not really worried about any fuel scenarios for him. But a huge momentum push by Team 2's player of Dorset, really shoving it down Team 1's throat on this upper plateau. I wouldn't be surprised to see an invasion at some point here to this lower section. And it does look like, I mean, it's kind of weird because of the way that the wall sections were built, that it kind of looks like you could just roll down there, but you can't. Just kind of gives that impression, though. But Team 1 still not being able to reestablish to this position due to the units constantly patrolling up here for Battlefront. Denying eco is better than having it in your opponent's hands. But T2 Rhino starting to push back against T2 Pillars and T1 Mantis. Pillars and Rhinos just running into one another here on this upper plateau. Pillars targeting the lower tiered units and then going after the main Rhinos after that. The combined efforts from the players of Battlefront and Dorset really showing. We even see T3 assault bots in the form of Titans here for the player of Battlefront as well. And both teams have essentially, I mean, not ignored the middle, but they're not really pushing one way or the other. The only thing that was really kind of threatening for Team 2 was that push against Maximus is calm, and that's really about it. We see a large T1 army made up of Mantis and a couple, actually a decent amount of Medusa. But they are coming up against Ilshis, which, I mean, we've seen what Ilshis can do against bricks, so Titans were going to come in and try to intercept those, and they will be able to do a decent amount of damage. Rapid fire versus rapid fire scenarios here. Targeting the Ilshis first, definitely the good choice there. We see, of course, the rest of those units run into that blockade here from Mutual. Mutulal? I think it's Mutulal with two. It's 2 L's. Looks like an I at the end, but it is an L. Drop some Titans here, says Maximus. Yeah, trying to get some foothold down here. Is distance building with those engineers to produce a T2 facility. We'll probably pump out some pillars and just run over this position. Team 1 only has an Utashala in defense with a T2 flag. So they have some defenses, but really can't sustain an all-out siege. We are approaching the 20-minute mark. So far, nobody has died. We've had a couple of scares, but that bomber from Team 1 will be taken out. Did they get any other work done? Looks like that mix was the target there. And Team 1 will hold air control for now, given the fact they do have 2 players at T3 air. I think Team 2 only has 1. They are going to have a second one here pretty soon. And I would assume maybe the player of Mutawal would go for air and give Team 2 just a slight advantage in the air, considering there is no Navy, so we don't have to worry about that scenario. But a large group of Team 1's units from the player of Lucre just kind of just terrorizing the countryside here in no man's land. A couple of units skating by, but really, it's not really a threat here. You need a decent horde of either Harbingers, Authams, Percys, something to really make that push really worth it. Except sending out T1 units. But we have Titans pushing forward constantly. We have the assisting forces from a bunch of Medusa and a couple of Mantis. And really that huge group of Medusa will do a lot of work against these structures here to the north. There is a couple of Cerberus turrets being built up. And that will definitely dissuade the Medusa for now. But the Titans are essentially taking the brunt of that firepower, and now you can see the targeting reset onto those T1 units. They're a lot better suited, the PDR, a lot better suited for taking out those units. Taking out the Medusa before they can get in close. They're designed to take out structures and stand. They're just units that just sit there and just kind of wave and just stand there. It does look like the Titans are going to be able to do a lot of work taking out a decent amount of facilities. There's only a couple of Cerberus left online. These facilities pumping out more and more rhinos as we speak. It does look like the attack is starting to peter out for both sides at least, but the pillars trying to do their work against these PD here for the player of Storm, and he looks like he will lose that position. So Team 2 was about ready to just kick the bucket down here, but they really just shoved it and said, no, we're not going to leave. It really made a lot of work happen here for Team 2 on this eastern side here from Battlefront and Dorset. We are at the 20-minute mark. Let me know down in the comments, who do you think is currently going to win in terms of eco? Team 1 is in the lead at 7. That's essentially 800 versus 650. About 150 mass between our teams. And yeah, let me know down in the comments how you feel. But a laser here for Team 2's play of Mutulal. Oh, cancels it. Never mind. What's he going to build? Maybe he meant to build gun? Oh, he's going to build T3. Okay. I was very confused on what he was doing there. But a group of Titans and Loyalists here for Team 2 pushing against a group of these Ilshis. There is a T1 PD in the mix. Not a huge threat for these forces, but of course, some damage is better than no damage. But it does look like just with so many shots being fired at one another, oh, that Loyalist going to walk in and EMP some of those units here against Luker, using their death as a way to slow the damage output of these units. Looks like more and more Titans appearing here for Team 2 will break their lines. We have T3 Awesomes appearing. Team 2 really needs to switch up to Percy's to really deal a lot of damage. And they have more units kind of being hauled off. And this group is Engineers. The comm of Luker is nearby underneath shield and PD coverage. So not a huge threat, but I do love the fact that he has essentially kind of layered a lot, not a lot, but a decent amount of PD around Mexes just to kind of protect them against ratings from not Team 1, but from T1 units from Team 2. You can just see the Titans, they do a decent amount of fire per second, but in terms of output, damage, and hit points, they really just fall in comparison due to the Othams. You can see multiple Titans just falling in the face of just a few Othams. It has emboldened the forces from Mutual to push forward with assisting groups of Titans once again. I feel like Battlefront needs to switch again to Percy's to really make an impact. He's producing Engineers now. Actually, he stopped production. I don't know what he's doing now. No, he's still pumping out Titans. We have that T3 upgrade here from Mutulal here in the middle. And it is 22 minutes so far in this game. Team 1's player of Storm is now on this upper plateau building Nano. Wanted to use this comm more offensively. Very big risks, especially at this stage in the game where T3 units starting to be very much the main stage here for both teams. So kind of a big risk, but if he builds Nano and then Laser, or maybe he builds Nano, Cloaking, then Laser, that could be a huge amount of firepower at his disposal if he uses it correctly, of course. Because you can build the best thing in the world, but if you don't use it correctly, it's kind of useless at that point. But now the Titans, known for their raiding attempts, are going after T3 Mechs. Definitely the better cost effectiveness. They are going to run into some PD issues, but those Engineers will eventually be killed off. There goes that Mechs. They're going to come out of range of those PD. They're going to come and be intercepted by a Harbinger, which of one isn't going to do much. But it does look like the comm of Trigram is really in a weird position here. He's behind... Right, in front of, at least in terms of going south, in front of these Titans. But there is his Galactic Colossus nearby, which is going to shoo a lot of those forces away, at least the Titans away. And shield going down here for Battlefront here in his base. But he is going to get a transport. Maybe he'll get out of dodge. It was gifted over to him by his teammate of Storm, I would probably guess. Since there's only 2 Cybran commanders in this game. The other one is busy with his air grid down up there. We have a chicken built here for Team 1 as well. So 1 chicken, 1 Colossus. And Team 2 needs something to fight back with. Do they have a monkey? Do they have their own chicken? I don't really see anything on the cards here for Team 2. So really the only thing to fight back with could be a heck of a lot of Perseus, which Battlefront's still building Titans. And Titans are good, mind you. They're just not as effective at taking out experimentals as Perseus. Perseus just do a lot of alpha damage at the onset. There goes that comm flying away. Does look like there has been a decent amount of raiding, decent amount of effort, of course, by Team 2 to just take out Team 1's eco, but really, this group of mechs still hasn't been rebuilt by Team 1. Very huge oversight here by them. Zardos has really got himself a nice forward operating base with a T2 land facility and a T3 land headquarters. They're both headquarters here, and they are pumping out Othams as we speak. Of course, the HQs get I don't know if it's a 50% boost in production. It's a decent amount of production boost. Definitely worth building, especially as if you have like a primary one and a secondary one kind of thing. But building like 8 of them isn't really worth it for the mass costs. So it's better to build maybe one and then a backup, and that's really about it. We have now Percy starting to appear in that front line here for Battlefront, but they're going to be scooped up by that Colossus leading the charge. Some of them will charge in, turn around. The Percys definitely will be a huge addition to taking out those hit points on that Colossus. But there goes one going in the ground and coming out of it, being crushed by that guy's left arm. Acep's coming in to assist in defense for that Colossus. But a huge amount of T1 Medusa for Mutawal just make it, I mean, it'll just be target saturation at that point. And you can see as long as that Colossus does not move, artillery will constantly land against it. But a huge T3 army with assisting units just barreling down Team 2's front line. Only a couple of Perseus left standing. Team 2 really has to figure out their situation on that front line. The comm of Maximus on an upgrade for Ras. Comm of Mutolao says, nope, I am out of there. See ya. And it does look like the comm of Storm is pushing forward with his nano and gun comm. Percy's coming in to assist for his teammate of Dorset. The PD is all down here. Percy's trying to target the bricks first. They could go after the comm essentially, but still no deaths at 26 minutes. Kind of rare, but a couple of whalers incoming from the air player of Team 1 of Sheikah will definitely assist and protect that commander. Of course, that army is still barreling down on Team 2's front door. The Ras is still on the way. Here is at 26%. He probably will finish before that Colossus gets there, but it's not looking good here for Team 2 on this middle section of the map. I don't see any efforts to build any sort of experimental, even just one monkey. I mean, there is a crab, but it's not close to being finished. Even just one monkey will definitely assist. Just taking out the Colossus will be the main issue here. And there's a couple of lightning tanks in the rear here for Team 1 as well for some air defenses. A couple of these T3 heavy PD Ravagers are on threat. You can see the arcs that they use just to hit that Colossus, but the comm is leaving. He has not finished. Oh, wait, did he finish Ras? Ah, he canceled Ras, so all of that eco is gone. Team 2's player of Overclock pumping out T1 bombers just to deal some damage to the Colossus so it doesn't constantly regen. And it does not look good here for Team 2 on this western side. And on this eastern side, there has been a huge effort by Team 1 to push and not give up. We see bricks and a chicken. Huge amount of eco being pumped into this upper plateau. And Team 1 has not relinquished this southern section, this lower section as well. So really, Team 2 is in a bad situation here. And the comm of Maximus XXX goes down to a Colossus. Did not retreat in time. Corsair's coming to try to deal even more damage. There is a Loyalist that was grabbed by that Colossus. Yeah, it was GG a long time ago. No, I don't. I don't know, because you, gave up. I did. Yeah, that doesn't help when you have a teammate that just gives up. Not really beneficial. But all of that stuff for Maximus will go into the hands of Battlefront's hands. Yeah, I think that made sense. And all of the eco is the main target here, just trying to just take out anything and everything, at least the vitalness that Team 1 can. Targeting, of course, any units inbound. Lots of bombers still coming in. Lots of Corsairs as well. Air fight going over here for Team 1 and 2. It does look like Team 2 will get a nice engage going after those ASFs. They will gain air control. Not dominance, but it'll be close to dominance. Only a couple of ASFs remain here for Team 1. Of course, that chicken with that comm. I mean, Team 2 really going to suffer. Overcharges go into the first Percy, but a nuke launched by Team 1. Where's that nuke? No, it's launched by... Where's the nuke? I hear it. Oh, here it is. It's in Team 2's base. It was just surrounding some P-gens. Will launch against... It does look like it was going after this position, but there isn't an SMD online for anybody. You could have targeted the rear guard air slot, could have targeted Zardos, could have targeted anything. And that's kind of a missed opportunity. That crab does finish and will go after that Colossus. What is the nuke land? The nuke land's right here. Not really going to do anything. Takes out a couple of mexes, but could have targeted main bases, could have targeted comms. There is an SMD back here. It is loaded, to be fair. So couldn't have targeted everything, but could have gone after this position. I feel like the nuke could have been a lot better. It could have even gone after this. And that chicken really just going to make it very hard for Team 2 to reestablish on this upper plateau. They've taken out the Colossus. They'll scoop up that reclaim, but and that's a huge hole in their defenses. They've lost a player. It's now a 5v4 in favor of Team 1. Like, they're really just had a lot of momentum coming on this eastern side, but a Colossus with a couple of supporting units just really killed it. And lines of engineers getting up to get that reclaim. Very important, of course, after a large battle like that. A couple of bricks will start making their posts up on this cliffside here for Team 1. And they really have to, you know, use it while they have it before Team 2 builds a bunch of art. No, never mind. Team 2's Dorset has already built artillery to deal with this. And if those units sit there for very long, they're just going to die out. Team 2 has to just, you know, plug all the holes they can, build more nukes, build more something. Even just skip the phase of late and go straight to endgame. Building an all washer would be good. If they use it correctly. That's obviously the main point, is if you build a nuke and you don't use it right, and all that mass and energy and time just kind of went out the window. Titans, very good use here. Actually, there's a Loyalist, not Titans, but very good use of the Loyalist / Titans and going after kind of raiding T1, T2 mexes, going after engineers on that reclaim. We also obviously have a lot of engineers coming off of Mutulal as well, but a couple of Authams up here with assisting Ilshis definitely put a hamper on Team 2's ability to reinforce or just scoop up that mass. But I think that crab will definitely sort that out here shortly. All of those units have died out here on this plateau, at least have retreated for the time being. The chicken's still standing strong, but really, you can't keep that chicken there. As you can just see, look at the hit points, 40,000 down to 39,000. But, you know, every shot it takes is a shot that really doesn't need to, and just gives more time for Team 2 to build up even more defenses. They have a monkey on the cards, and a line of Corsairs is on its way. This will probably make the chicken move. Sub at 17,000. A lot of them will die to flak damage from the chicken itself and a bouncer nearby. It looks like they'll get another round in. There they go. Some of the shots miss. Oh, it drops it into 6,000, 5,000 territory. A couple of engineers will die out. But it does look like that chicken will die to Corsair fire. Definitely unfortunate for it. Could have been retreated, could have saved it for later. But could have just brought it back to base and trocade it. Like, something could have been done better with that chicken there on that upper plateau. But a shield on the way here for Trek, and wants to protect his comm. They're building an artillery, and it's almost done. At 32 minutes, we have their first T3 artillery almost online. Zardos has really gone into just the eco. I think that's really the eco position, to be fair. Really just bumping his eco up. Team 1's player at 400. Also, we have Storm at 400. We do have Battlefront at 500 with 2 bases, to be fair. So Team 2's player Battlefront does have a chance to get back in there. But looks like, are they going after this? Oh, they are. I was like, what are they firing at? Going after that SAM site. That Awasha is almost finished. So Team 2 will have that in their pocket. We have Mutulao. Started a laser upgrade. Doesn't have the teleporter as of yet. A couple of engineers going to go after that chicken reclaim. Kind of just a waste, in my opinion, of mass at this point here for Team 1. And there goes the first shots over the map. What are they targeting? Oh, please don't tell me you're going after this fire base of artillery. That's not really worth it at this point. It is. It is going after this position. That's not really worth the time. You better to go after unshielded bases, go after the nuke, go after the air grid. There's just better targets to go after. I mean, I might level the... Oh, no, there goes a shot. It's going after this position. Or maybe it's aiming for something else. But there is that Monkey Lord just kind of roaming the map. We have that Odd Washer is now finished. And a second nuke will launch. This time it's going for this position. The Calm of Storm is building a disruptor here. Looks like there's a second formation of one going to be built here for Team 1's player of Zardos. Here comes that Odd Washer for these forces. That first line is gone. Does not exist anymore. That second nuke will do more damage than the first. Maybe we'll get the Calm if the Calm doesn't notice. It'll be close. Will they get it? It's the question. The Calm of Storm does end up moving. The SMD was about to finish, but too little too late. Doesn't get the Calm. Probably would have barely singed him if he did. He does get singed a little bit. He can see the EMP on it. Stops his movement for a second. This position is secure. They're going to build more SMD to protect it. A second artillery most likely for that position. Nuke here for Team 1's player of Sheikah as well. They're building their own strategic missile launcher as well. But again, it's 1 artillery versus 0 at the current moment. Team 2 is on the receiving end of all that artillery fire. More shields have been built up to defend the air grid, of course. Laser is still just sitting there. I don't know what he's doing. We'll see in a minute. He's bringing a lot of his engineers over. But in terms of tele-defense, I really don't... When I went back, I don't see any. Oh, no. There's PD protecting this side. The best place would be for the Calm of... If Mutula was to do it, was to probably just post up right here. Laser into the shields and to the nuke, and then maybe get the artillery. But 2 comms underneath TMD... Sorry, not TMD. Tele-defense isn't really going to work here for that position. The southeast side is a lot better, but 2 nukes for Team 1 definitely going to be a huge threat if Team 2 is not prepared for it. But not really a whole lot of work is being done, though. Shields missing. They're going for a Novax in the middle here for the player of Battlefront. I think that's what they're targeting. The shield, it does collapse, though. They needed to put at least 2 or 3 more to really ward off the incoming threat. Wide shot to the west here. 1 good shot will take out the Omni. There it goes, right in the middle, right next to that Omni. That P-Gen is still online, but a second shot will kill it off. The shields need to come back online here for Team 2, or this is dead in the water. Obviously, the land facility is under threat as well. Luca, give me energy. Trigram says he needs a bunch of energy. Building shield, I would assume. No, that's what he's doing with his... he doesn't... Wait. He doesn't need energy. Oh, now he does. He's... Bar is freaking out. Oh, oh, that's why. He's building a Paragon. The Aeon is building a Paragon. That sounds about right. Still surprised by the fact that one player a couple matches ago was able to build 2 Paragons essentially side by side in one game, with them having been active at the same time. Not for long, but 2 of them being active at the same time is definitely impressive in of itself. But a couple of experimentals in Team 2's repertoire now. We have a chicken, a crab, and a monkey versus 1 crab for Zardos. This chicken will die. It's going to run into the crab to get some damage done, but the incoming firepower from 3 experimentals really going to prevent its movement there. There it goes, turns around. They will be out of range of that Ion Storm, and they're going to burst eastward would be my guess. There's not really, again, a lot of defenses. They have 1 Colossus here. They have this, forward operating base here, but there's not a lot of actual, well, okay, now they're building Utashalas, but there weren't before. We have to the southwest. Still not really a lot of efforts here for Team 2, just reestablishing this position. Team 1 has built a couple of SAM sites or AA defenses to really just dissuade that Odd Washer. Speaking of which, where'd that thing go? Well, the satellite's online. I don't even see it. Did they use it already? Oh, here it is. No, that's a satellite. Where's that? Where'd it go? I don't see that awash anymore. Oh, it's up here. It died over here. Probably going after that base up here. But we have another Colossus here for Team 1 in defense as well. It's 1 crab, 1 chicken, 1 monkey versus 2 Colossi, which I don't even know what this... Oh, that's probably the same one, to be fair. Monkey going after this position, going after mechs and shields. Definitely just trying to handicap Team 1's eco. Not really going to work, but Team 1 launches their own nuke, this time going after... don't know what it's going after. Oh, it's going after the... No, the pinks go down. Is there a bomber raid on the cards here? I don't think so. Team 2 does have Mutulal at 78% for that teleporter. He's going to teleport away shortly. Don't want to miss that. A second nuke launches here, this time from Team 2's player of Overclock. He's building just more nukes, more SMD. That's really all that Team 2 is really doing. They're really playing very defensively, not going for artillery. They have a second satellite on the cards. They're really pumping out that Duke, though. I hear RAS comms dying in the distance. They're actually Rambo comms. That chicken, that crab will crush some of those. The Iron Storm is down. Team 2 has lost their experimentals. That nuke was shot down by Team 2. Team 1 shuts down Team 2's nuke. And now we have 3 comms up here in close proximity. The laser really doing a number on this airbase here for Team 2. Really going to bring them back. But the shields are down around that Paragon. Does Team 2 notice that? They notice a huge facility online. They need to go over there. It's a huge opportunity. Oh, the shields are back online. Never mind. The Paragon is... Did he stop producing it? Oh, he's going. It's about 44% completed. The artillery does land. The Duke is still online. No shielding surrounding that artillery. You need to get shielding online. It's on. There it goes. There goes the shielding order has been given. Get all these engineers to really just pump out some shielding. One engineer isn't really going to cover it. They're assisting the reconstruction of said artillery, but not the shielding surrounding it. The second satellite roaming around the map here for Team 2. Gun speed and range going down here for Mutulal. He's going to teleport here pretty shortly, I would imagine. Has the order been given? Not yet, but it probably will be here shortly. The artillery is still online. All of those engineers have died. It does get a shot off. More shielding being produced. That Duke is very lucky. Still very lucky. Shot after shot missing. It is, I think, 2 artillery online here. No, there's one right here. I think there was one building down here, right? Yep, there's one. That one, I think, just finished. The second one will start firing, and the third one is under construction. That Duke is still online. That shield will finish. Very lucky Duke. That's a very lucky Duke. Very lucky. Jeez. Look at this thing. I'm surprised that thing is still online. All those dead engineers. And that was very close. And this game really kind of went into stalemate at this point. Team 2, again, still acting a lot of defensively, but they are starting to come back in that late game, end game scenario. They build and launch another nuke. Don't know where this one is going. It's going right here. There's an SMD there. That's going to be shot down. A nice group of Harbingers with assisting forces on the way. They're going to go after that Duke. And there is a couple of Ravagers online. I think they need some Triad fire in the mix, but a lot more Ravagers going to be built back here, so I don't think it will matter. The artillery might be a huge boon to Team 1 if they can get it there. But Zardos is killed off by Mutulal. He teleports in, gets the kill. There isn't any other commanders nearby, but the comm of Mutulal does end up dying to PD fire. How is that Duke? Is it still online? It's still online. The shields are down. Ravager fire constantly laying into, actually just missing the Duke entirely. We have bombers on their way. I saw the naming mod for a second. At least I thought I did. But that Duke is still online. That thing will not die. Even a couple of Rambo preset commanders here just completely ignoring the thing. How are you not dead? Oh, okay. Now they're giving the order. Never mind. I was like, how is that thing not dead yet? That is very surprising. But it is fallen. The artillery base here for Team 1 has fallen. Mutulal got a kill and did a lot of damage. Team 1 still owns this position here, building a second one as we speak, building a third one as we speak. This is a huge position. If Team 2 were to grab it, would be a nice notch on their belts. I think that's the first. But PDs are starting to fail. Team 2, we even have a couple of AA units helping to prevent the bombers from really doing a lot of damage. There goes the pigeons. The shields are falling. The lasers are the main target. Team 2's player Battlefront did a decent amount with them of softening up those defenses for the player of Mutulal to come in and get at least one kill. Another artillery installation being built by Battlefront as well. He's lost one laser, going to lose the second one. T1 PD trying to do its best. Lots of shielding and lots of hit points to shoot through on those Rambo commanders. There goes the second laser. The third one was under construction. A decent amount of lightning to really prevent a huge buildup of T1 bombers. And now the artillery is starting to really just be pumped out here from the eastern side. This one almost completed. It's in the green. This one about to go into the green. Teleporter on the way here for Sheikah. Doesn't have the laser and is building a Scathis. The Paragon is essentially done. I'm going to watch it tick over to 5,000. Watch it complete. Team 1 will definitely have a huge advantage with that online. Infinite Resources has been activated. Cheat code has been input. One monkey is maybe not going to be enough for these Rambo commanders. It's a lot of hit points. There it goes. Primary fire into that Monkey Lord. You can see it's just taking a while to chew through those hit points. The Monkey Lord is already dead. First one gone. Oh, laser trying to turn around. Doesn't do a whole lot. The second one of those Rambo comms will die. There is a crab coming to assist as well, but it's still going to take a while to chew through those hit points. Second one does end up dying, of course. But Team 1 looking a huge advantage. Building a Scathis faster than their teammate is. Already, I think, surpassed him in the yellow. Yep, passed that very quickly. Team 1 has the advantage. Team 2 is really struggling to stay online here in this game. They had a decent amount of, again, effort on this eastern side and in the middle, but they lost all that momentum. They're starting to fall behind. Team 2 at 3 players left. Team 1 at 4 players left. You know, they have anything else going? They need their own end game ender. They do have one artillery online, but again, one isn't going to cut it at this stage, especially with that Paragon online. There's my Alexa in the distance making some notification, but a lot of tele-defense being built by Team 1's player of Tragam to just, again, secure the Paragon. I don't see a second one under construction as of yet. Wouldn't surprise me, but maybe not. We are at 45 minutes in this game. Team 2 is looking at the end of the barrel for a... I don't know what gun you would use. Sniper rifle? Probably sniper rifle in this case. It's just not looking good here for Team 2. We have the comm of Sheikah teleporting in and killing the entire airbase. T1 bombers going after that commander. He may get the T3 artillery installation of those Hubbathams, but might not. There he goes. He ends up dying, but does end up killing the air grid. Now it's a 3v3. But really, Team 1 is still in the driver's seat, even with that loss of that commander, that Paragon, and that Scathis, which is going to finish with a heck of a lot of shielding. Now this is how you build a Paragon. You just have a bunch of hives and a Scathis, and just run over everybody else. I hear stuff blowing up in the distance. Did somebody else die? Nope, those are preset commanders. Or Rascoms, most likely those were the Rambos. Yep, they end up falling. And the artillery raining in here from the east. All three are online. That Scathis is going to start firing here pretty soon. There it goes. The second Scathis is trying to catch up as fast as he can. And now a Salvation being built. Man, this is not looking good. 2 game enders, a small location. A nuke would be very prime for Team 2, but they need to knock out that SMD. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case, no. And the air grid is down. There's really not a whole lot on the cards left. A couple of whalers going to sit in AA territory. Not the best placement there. There goes the artillery shells targeting the last remaining bastion of Team 2. The nuke is down. Teleporter on the way here for overclock. Dorset might follow suit here, but has not done any upgrades as of yet. Team 2 does have that artillery here to the west. That's, again, not shielded as well. Not looking good. The oppressive firepower coming in from the east and the northeast. You can just see the shots raining in constantly. Shields staying online for now, but they're slowly falling. It's not looking good here for Team 2. Team 1 really, and especially with that salvation now coming online, not really going to matter. Team 2 really needs to, get something going, but I don't think they have anything left in the tank. You can see the other scath is being built in the distance. Now this is shielding. I don't know. Maybe I'll use that as the thumbnail. Who knows? I'm thinking of the quote from episode 1 of Star Wars where this is pod racing. Teleporter was canceled. I mean, I get it. You have no shielding surrounding you. Artillery will hit you at some point. Probably would have hit you. There goes the SMD. And Team 2 has no protection in the nuclear variety. Well, they have one over here, but the artillery is down. There goes that energy storage. These shielding are down. Team 2 trying to struggle to take back that upper plateau. Are doing a decent amount of work, to be fair, but assisting artillery from Team 1, actually targeting more of their own units than, Team 2's units. I mean, I literally played every side, says Battlefront. And there goes the desync, but it doesn't matter. We know where this game was headed. 2 players control K, one after another, and those look like Overclock does the same thing. Actually, Battlefront's still in the game. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That is the end here for Team 2. Team 1 ends up pulling it out pretty decisively. I'd say about 35 minutes in. That one push did a heck of a lot of work to really just shove it down Team 2's throat. They took the upper plateau back. That gave them a nice defensive position. A lot of mass to really just pump into their eco constantly. Really just skyrocketed them, and they built 2 experimentals. 2 game enders. Were building a third in the way of a Scathis. The second one does finish right at the end there. They didn't have a salvation as well. We did have the player of Sheikah end up teleporting in and dying, but just eliminated the air threat. Didn't need to do that, but felt like might as well, right? And in terms of underrated the player of the game, I feel like Zardos really did a huge amount of work. He grabbed this southeastern section really early on, held it for essentially the entire game. It was handed off to another teammate, but essentially these are his structures that he built. He held this position for a very long time. He had a lot of eco under his belt, built artillery, really just pummeled it down Team 2's throat. Ended up dying off, but, that's the telemazer. Sometimes you just, luck of the draw, end up dying to telemazer. It just happens. And that is it. I think Zardos deserves the underrated player of the game award here. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. Wrong reasoning, wrong player, whatever you want to say down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you did. And of course, if you haven't hit that sub button down below the video, I would encourage you to do so. And if you have hit it, thank you so much. And I will see all of you in the next one.